Eric's here today. We're gonna play some Smash and head to the studio, get a nice workout in. Eric already ate, so I'm just gonna enjoy some asparagus, eggs, beans, chicken, and potatoes.
Yeah, but I had a Panera power smoothie, so we're gonna be very powerful, aren't we, Ben?
Eric forgot all of his clothes in his car.
Literally everything. Well, I was completely mentally out of it because me and Scott have a Super Smash Bros. War going on, and in the N64 version, I've been killing him, and then he picks up the Wii version. I've never played it before. Not trying to make excuses, but I did lose, but it wasn't embarrassing or anything. It just lost. It was embarrassing for him.
Then we just kind of started talking. We packed up my car with all my stuff, and then he's like, I don't have anything. He just gave me an Anabolic Aliens tank, so he's actually wearing my tank in this workout.
It's like Indian giving.
Yeah. I got some extra shorts you can wear too. The first exercise is an Arnold Press, but we're changing the form a little bit. A traditional Arnold Press is one smooth motion, and you basically come up and down like this. So you're just kind of spinning to your face, spinning away as you go up and down. The way we're going to be doing this exercise is quite different. You're going to start off with the dumbbells in front of you. We're going to really focus on rotating wide, getting a 90-degree angle with both arms, pressing overhead, all the way back down, rotate in front of your body, and really try to rotate forward. You'll feel it through your post delts. Rotate back out wide, and then up again. So you can see the clear difference here. This is the traditional way. Up, down, just like this. The way we're gonna do it is to the side, in, out, up. And you're gonna need a little bit lighter weight doing it that way if you're used to the traditional Arnolds. Now you guys are gonna notice throughout this routine, I'm not showing every set and every rep of every exercise. I'm just picking and choosing some of the best angles that we had and some of the most intense reps to give you an idea of how the workout's going to go and what to expect when you perform it.
On the way down, you want to control it as much as possible. It's very easy to let them, swing in, kind of like you're giving up, but then you got to flare them back out. So you want to keep controlled the entire time, and you're pulling those in slowly, really focusing on your front delt, pulling them out and pushing them up. When you push them up, you can explode up, but on the way down and the way in and out, you should be going slow.
As the sets progressed, I started really feeling this exercise throughout my anterior deltoids, or your front delts. And you'll also see some chest activation as I go forward and back. You can see the striations in my chest as I move the dumbbells. But really focus on that form. Don't go too heavy and really isolate your delts.
Scott turned red. Scott get angry.
I was trying to get them done before my body realized it was tired. It was really the goal of that set. Sometimes that's what you gotta do. It's when you stop to rest for a second, it's like, oh wait, I'm fatigued. Good set though, let's move on. It's really hard to make an intense shoulder workout. It's not like people line up when a YouTube video comes out and they're like, yeah! We're gonna lift some shoulders, you guys. You dudes ready? Let's share this video real quick with all my friends. Gonna smash some delts today. It's gonna hit the gym, crush my traps. Me and Eric are like, let's try to figure out the coolest angles to try to make this workout look super cool. But at the end of the day, it's not biceps, it's not abs, and it's not chest. So it ain't gonna be glorious.
Dude, did you see the size of that guy's rotator cuff? Oh my god.
Did you guys see that full range of motion? Sick.
Massive.
Eric, did you see that dude press 25-pound dumbbells over his head doing those lateral raises?
But he was ripped though. Did you see the guy doing the 35-pound side raises at the gym?
It was sick.
Dude, he's so huge.
How'd he lift those massive dumbbells?
Such good form.
The next exercise is the Barbell Upright Row. We're doing 4 sets of 8 repetitions. Now, this was actually a little bit too light for us. This is only 65 pounds. And the reason why I started off light, I always like to make sure I'm not using any momentum. And with the weight being a little too light on the first set, all I did was instead of hitting 8 repetitions, I actually ended up doing 20. Now, if the weight's too light, obviously you can put the weight down, increase the weight, and then start your set over. Or if you want to just push through it like I did, that's fine as well. Just know that when you set up for your next set, that you're going to increase the weight. And as you can see here on the third set, we're doing 95 pounds, and we even started increasing the weight from here a bit more as well. You just have to really make sure, especially with this exercise, that as you start getting into the heavier weight, that you do not use momentum. One thing you'll notice throughout this too is that Eric and I will stop at the bottom, take in a breath, bring the weight up, bring the weight down, let air out, and then take in another breath. And what we're doing is we're activating that internal belt I always talk about. You know, flex your glutes as hard as you can, take in that breath, and then put all your energy into your hands and bring that barbell up to your chin. You'll also notice that the elbows are always staying above the wrists. That's super important when doing this exercise. You also want to make sure you keep your hands about shoulder width apart. If you bring your hands too close together during this movement, you can cause shoulder impingement, which will cause a bit of pain in your shoulders and could end up damaging the rotator cuff, so you need to be careful. So now as you can see, we're on our last set of this exercise. We have been bumping up the weight consistently with each set, and for the last set here, we just bumped it up an extra like 2.5 pounds on each side. You just want to use momentum when it gets to that spot where it's a little too heavy, and you can get from here to here no problem, and that last 4 inches is where you really gotta dig deep and pull it up. And for me, I just flex my butt as hard as I can, flex my abs, and when I get to here, I just grind it out and get it up. I don't want to see any of this, you know? Gotta push through that, man. If you get tired, just put it down, pick it back up, and then finish your reps. I'd much rather see you guys put the weight down if you're getting tired than use momentum, so keep that in mind. The next exercise is the Underhand Easy Bar Front Raise, 4 sets, 8 repetitions. And for the first set, we actually started off a little bit too light. It's actually probably better to start off too light with this exercise to make sure you really get a sense of what the form and range of motion is supposed to feel like. Because something that may feel too light from here to here could feel a little too heavy from here to there. So you gotta find that right amount of weight where you can bring it up without momentum and control that negative. You get a real nice burn in those delts. One thing I want you guys to keep in mind, that even though the first set was a little too light, you don't want to just jump the weight up by a lot. You want to go in small increments with an exercise like this because of what we just talked about, where, you know, the just right amount of weight might feel too light on the bottom, but might be too heavy for the top part of the movement. And you can see with Eric and with my form right here, we're stopping at the bottom of each repetition, taking in a breath, activating that internal belt, making sure our shoulder blades are pinched together slightly behind, flexing glutes as hard as possible. That way when we bring the weight up and bring it back down, we can stay in control. And you can see the control in these repetitions, guys. Just pay attention to my upper body. It's like every single muscle all of a sudden flexes. You can see all the striations in my shoulders, biceps popping and triceps popping, forearms popping. All the muscles tense up at once to control that weight the entire range of motion.
Hold your breath there pretty hard.
Yeah, well, I'm pausing after each rep to make sure every rep is solid and on point. Because if I don't, then I'll start to swing and use momentum. So pause, take in that breath, get focused, and just push it up. The final exercise before moving on to our finisher is the Incline Dumbbell Rear Raise. And again, we're doing 4 sets of 8 repetitions. And guys, just in case you missed it earlier with the routine card, you're only taking 60 to 90 second max rest periods between all of your sets and exercises. So you want to move along quite quickly with this workout. Now you're going to notice as Eric and I perform this movement that we're doing an actual fly. We're maintaining a slight bend in our elbows, and we're bringing the dumbbells up and away from our body. A lot of people, when they do this exercise, they try to go too heavy and they turn the movement more into a rear row, where basically the dumbbells stay kind of close to your torso and all they do is pull the elbows backwards. If the goal here is to work the posterior deltoids, then you want to make sure you're getting a nice solid fly. Now for set 3, which is actually this set right here, we ended up bumping it up to 20-pound dumbbells. And we were able to complete the set. We're obviously pretty fatigued from the other exercises, but the reps weren't as clean as we wanted them to be. We started using a little bit more momentum than we wanted to, and that's okay. I mean, we're going to finish off the set. We had one set left, so we figured, you know what? We'll keep the 20-pound dumbbells. We'll get all 8 repetitions, but we move on to that final set. We're going to knock it back down to 15s to make sure we're getting nice, clean reps. So guys, if you're doing this routine and you feel like the weights are starting to get a bit too heavy, it's okay to put them down and go down 5 pounds, go back to those 15-pound dumbbells, and finish off your last set with perfect form. We're going to take you guys through the last exercise, full throttle, all the way through. You're going to see all the agonizing pain coming from this face and that face.
We're going to change colors.
And that face is going first because it's my studio and he gets to go first because I said so.
Good-looking people go first.
For the finisher part of this exercise, to eliminate any sort of confusion you guys might have, you're going to see all the sets, reps, and weights pop out every single time we change from one exercise to the other and from one round to the next. So obviously we started off with the Dumbbell Lateral Raise. The first set you're doing 25 pounds. We're using 10-pound dumbbells, and then as soon as you're done, you're going to move off into the Dumbbell Shrug, and you're doing 20 reps with 65 pounds. Now for the Dumbbell Shrugs, you're going to stay consistent and use those 65-pound dumbbells on every single set. The only thing that's going to change is the rep range and weight for the Dumbbell Lateral Raise. And I'm obviously not going to show you guys every single rep that Eric and I did, because if I did do that, it would take about 35 minutes to watch the entire thing. So what I wanted to do is have some fun and show you guys some of the most intense sets and show you kind of the flow of how this is supposed to go. And so moving on already into our second set, as you guys can see, we're maintaining as perfect form as we can. When you do the dumbbell lateral raises, you want to make sure your elbows are staying in line or higher than your wrists. And obviously when you move into the dumbbell shrugs, you want to make sure you keep your arms as straight as you can. Squeeze that dumbbell as hard as you can as well. Get some forearm activation in there while you're doing this exercise. Don't just let that dumbbell hang loose in your hand, because after you finish this entire monster set of reps, you guys are going to be wishing that you held those dumbbells as hard as you could, because then you could have got some good forearm work in and you'd be done the workout. Shoulders and traps would be on fire, but your forearms would have got some decent work as well. I don't know about you guys, but any chance I get to work on my grip strength, I'm going to take that opportunity. So make sure you squeeze those dumbbells. Even when you're doing the lateral flies, make sure you're squeezing those dumbbells as hard as you can. And as you guys can see right here, I'm already starting to feel the fatigue. I mean, you did 25 reps the first time, 20 reps the second time. You're increasing the weight as you progress. Now you're doing 15 repetitions, and you're using 20-pound dumbbells. Your arms are already smoked, your shoulders are on fire, and then you're going to jump right into those shrugs. And when you get into the shrugs, I mean, do whatever you have to do to get all of the reps in. You know, you're going to get the 10, and I know exactly what's going to happen. You're going to get the 10 repetitions, and you're going to be like, oh my gosh, this burns so much. I can't possibly do 10 more reps. I'm telling you, just stick with it and push through the pain. You have to want those gains, nation. You have to say to yourself, why am I even here? Why am I even lifting this weight? I'm doing it because I want to grow my traps. I want to get monster traps. So think about that when you start to get tired. Squeeze and push on every single repetition. With the 25-pound dumbbells, Eric switched his form up a little bit. He was starting to fatigue towards the end of his set. Remember, you're doing 10 repetitions there. So by putting the dumbbells in front of your body the way he had them, you're able to use a little bit more momentum on the way up. And once you get to the top, really try to squeeze your core, squeeze your glutes, and keep your body as stiff as possible, and control those negatives as much as you can. This is a monster set, so you don't have to worry about throwing the dumbbells down and grabbing a lighter pair to get perfect form on all the repetitions. I mean, you can do that if you want to, but you're doing so much volume here. Some of those reps that might not be as good on the positive really aren't going to make that much of a difference, especially now that we're working our way back up the pyramid, and we're going to get back to those 10-pound dumbbells for 25 repetitions.
donezo with those. There we go.
And now that you're moving back up the pyramid, when you get to those 10-pound dumbbells for 25 reps, you can really isolate and focus on having perfect form all the way through. It's still going to hurt, but they're going to be light enough for you to be able to squeeze out those reps. I like that, actually. I can finally see Eric. He's starting to get those veins popping through his shoulders right there on those shrugs. You can see him on the flies. You can see the pain and agony in his face. You can see it in my face. It's just a brutal, brutal, brutal way to end your shoulder workout. And for those of you who go to the gym and do shoulders and you kind of just, I mean, most of us will go to the gym and we'll hit like biceps or we'll hit triceps or we'll hit chest with some really insane supersetting. Not a lot of us go to the gym and say, hey, I'm going to take some insane supersets and destroy my shoulders and traps. So I do it every once in a while. It was Eric's idea to unleash this monster set on us, and I'm glad he did because I think it was a piece of my own shoulder routine that was missing. Where you know, you guys see my latest videos. Normally I'd go into the gym, do some really heavy overhead pressing, do some kind of heavy bent over raises, do some upright rows, but it was more of just like one-off exercises where I'd start, do, you know, 8 to 10 reps, stop, and then restart again. But having to push through for about 20 minutes straight is a different story. Now, as far as rest periods, if you're doing this workout with a partner, you can basically do what Eric and I did. And all we did was a set of the raises, a set of the shrugs, and then we switched sides. So if you guys want to do the same thing, do a set of raises, set of shrugs, maybe wait 60 to 90 seconds, have a workout partner go, or if you want to take it to the next level, just try to complete it as fast as you possibly can. And what I mean by that is, as soon as you finish the shrugs, turn around, grab the dumbbells, and start your next set. Now, obviously, guys, if you want to use lighter dumbbells or heavier dumbbells, or even if you need to use the same amount of weight for some of these rep ranges, that's okay as well. Let's say maybe for the 25 reps you use 10-pound dumbbells, and then for the 20 reps you use 10-pound dumbbells as well. That's totally fine. You need to see what works for you, and whenever you guys do any of my routines, you should always understand that the end goal here is to teach you guys something new, but for you to also make it your own. And the only way you can make it your own is by giving it a try, finding what works for you, and then crushing it.
Look at your shoulders are like bulging out.
It was a really good workout. Obviously, we got to talk about. I talked a lot about it during the sets, but there is a bit of momentum going on during some of the exercises. Ideally, if you could find the perfect weight to get the right amount of reps every single time, that would be in a perfect world. But if you're hitting it and you're hitting it hard, we're doing so much volume. The number of good reps are going to outweigh maybe some of the momentum reps. But utilize those momentum reps. I'm not making up an excuse. Obviously, you always want to try to get as decent form as possible. But utilize those momentum reps to really isolate the area and focus on that slow negative as much as you can. Utilize that to also really focus on activating your internal belt. A lot of the times you guys saw myself or Eric taking in a deep breath. We're actually doing is taking in a deep breath, flexing the core, flexing the glutes as hard as we can, and then bringing it up. And by keeping everything nice and tight here, it's more of a stable structure for your arms to come up and come down even while they're fatigued. So play around with that. I mean, I feel like it helps a little bit with the mind-muscle connection, because when you're that fatigued and you're trying to isolate an area, you have to really focus.
And like if something's burning and it's in the right spot, so if you're trying to target your delts and your delts are on fire and you're swinging with a little bit of momentum but your delts are still on fire, as long as you keep relatively strict form and don't try to injure yourself. So if you're failing from the side on the side raises like this, so if you're, sorry I'm going to cut in front of you, but if you're going straight up like this and you're failing, you can't get up, it's okay to bring the weight in front of you and get a little swing to it. And this will also activate your traps, but you're going to sacrifice that because when you go to do your shrugs, you're going to be even more fatigued for those. So it's kind of a little compromise situation you got going on there.
Yeah, and I'd say as long as you're getting like 65 to 75% of the reps on your own, you should be good to go. But that was a good workout. Nothing like an intense shoulder day.
Something unheard of, shoulders.
Most intense video on YouTube, shoulder day.
Shoulders.
you guys haven't seen any of the videos with myself and the Anabolic Aliens, be sure to check them out. These guys also made their own profile on muscularstrength.com. You can look them up, Anabolic Aliens. They're starting to post a lot of their content on the channel, and they're answering a lot of questions and helping out in the forums as well. So be sure to jump in there. And for more great tips, exercises, routines, and meal plans, be sure to join us on muscularstrength.com. What's your maximum output?
Them striations coming out of your shoulders.
Cause it's intense!
Shoulders!
Shoulders are intense! They're intense! They're so hard!
It hurts! Bella watches shoulder workouts.
Ooh, I'm having the time of my life. I had no idea that was Neo. I thought it was a chick. I really did.
It's hard to tell sometimes.
I actually was talking to Erica on the phone last night. I was like, babe, someone was asking for cool workout music in the forums on the website. So I went and found the YouTube video for that Pitbull song, and it's not a chick, it's Neo.
And he said Erica, not Eric. That's why he said babe.
Yeah, I was talking about
That was
Erica,
close.
not Eric.
Easily confused.